Hello all, Frost Central here again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about some of the recent manga I've read, and I think today would be a good day to talk about Hell's Paradise, the most recent manga that I finished. Hell's Paradise is a member of the Shonen Dark Trio, which is a fan term for the three darkest titles in Shonen currently, which would be Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, and the subject of this video, Hell's Paradise or Jigokuraku. I've already covered JJK and Chainsaw Man on the channel a bunch of times before, so just go check those out. I'll probably show them up on the iCard. Anyways, let's get into Hell's Paradise very briefly and quickly. Okay, so for me to discuss Hell's Paradise, for me to discuss it without really spoiling it is very difficult. So instead of me going over the plot, I'm just gonna talk about two of the first characters you're introduced to into the story, and then I'm just gonna talk about how I think it was executed. The main character of our story is Gabimaru. He's a ninja from the village of Iwakakure in the world of Hell's Paradise, and he is very strong, and he is somewhat apathetic due to his upbringing. I think as a protagonist for this story, he works pretty well, especially seeing his growth from the very start of the series to how he ends up towards the end, which I'm not going to spoil, of course. And I think his growth was very done well, and the things we see him have to go through throughout the story is very interesting, and wow, it is really hard to talk about this story without spoiling anything. Anyways, the story of Gabimaru in Hell's Paradise is very interesting, and I think it is done very well by the author of the story. Now we have Sagiri, Yamada, Asaemon. Sagiri is a very good sort of foil for Gabimaru within the story. Her growth as well that we see from the start of the story to where she ends up in the story is done very well. Sagiri is done really well in terms of her development, and the way that she changes over the course of the story feels very natural. And I find the way that these two characters bounce off each other and their banter to be absolutely amazing. I love the banter. The banter in the story is probably some of the best parts of it. Alright. The execution of the story of Hell's Paradise is done really well. The mysteries that we sort of have to figure out are solved in a very timely manner that doesn't feel rushed at all. And I actually think it's done pretty well in terms of that. And I feel that the sort of settings that the story in lend to that pacing, but at the same time I feel like the amount of time it took for this entire thing to take place sort of potentially been stretched out just a little bit longer, because I'm just say the amount of time that I think that it takes for the story to take place should be triple that, because it feels like some of these characters are growing at a rate that is too fast for the story itself. I mean, the story's pacing is fine, but at the same time it feels as if this sort of situation they're in should require more time than is actually given to them. Wow, it is absolutely difficult for me to discuss this without spoiling a single thing. I might drop it, but yeah, I think that this was just done really well. I think the story was done really good, and I'm satisfied with the way it ended. I do highly recommend it. Out of the Dark Trio, it is probably my least favorite. That's because I absolutely adore the themes and writing of Chainsaw Man. Its pacing, it's just, well, Chainsaw Man's a masterpiece, and Jujutsu Kaisen has really grown on me heavy, so I feel as if Hell's Paradise is good. It's on the same tier as JJK, but still missing something. It felt like it was missing something in the story still. That's not to say it's bad at all. On a 1 to 10 ranking system, 1 being dog shit and 10 being like One Piece or something, I'd probably give it, I think, around an 8.5 out of 10. I think that's very fair to give Hell's Paradise. It's done really well. The art is amazing. The panels are some of the panels in Hell's Paradise are amazing. They're absolutely astounding. And I think it does live. I think if you were to read the Dark Trio, I think you would have to end off with Hell's Paradise to truly complete it. You start with Jujutsu Kaisen to sort of ease yourself into it. Then once you catch up, you go read Chainsaw Man to go feel the energy and true grittiness of it to the utmost extent. Then you go to Hell's Paradise to sort of end it off. I think between Jujutsu Kaisen, Hell's Paradise, and Chainsaw Man is the best, Jujutsu Kaisen is the second best, and Hell's Paradise is third best. Once again, it's an 8.5 out of 10. I highly recommend it if you are a fan of the other two manga. So yeah, I think that's all for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this little brief overview or little talk of manga check or whatever you want to call this of Hell's Paradise. Next week will probably be a scripted video, but there's no promises. Anyways, catch you guys later. Frost out. Peace.